Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. I thought we'd start off tonight's broadcast with the wackadoo channeling aliens. After all, it's wackadoo time here on Truthseekers. Every once in a while, we do one of these wackadoos of the week. This guy might be the wackadoo of the year, however, because I have previewed a good portion of what we'll be hearing tonight. I also jokingly said that we found a new whistleblower, and this one's only slightly less credible than David Grush. Claims made without evidence are equivalent to me. So I really don't care whether you're claiming that the government is in possession of non-human biologicals or alien bodies, depending on, what venue you're in. I really don't care. And I equally, if you're not presenting evidence for the claims that you're making, to me, a person who is claiming fantastical things with absolutely no evidence are equivalent. Now, some may argue that this guy doesn't have the security clearances of the other guy making the alien body and spaceship claims. But to me, they're exactly the same. Dave Grush is exactly the same as this person who is making absolutely, wait till we get into this. I cannot even begin to explain to you. Let's begin with Star Trek is real. And you know that Star Trek movie where they went back in time and got the whale and saved Earth? This guy claims that he served on the Enterprise and was part of that mission, and that was based on a true story. Oh, it gets better. He claims that he is the captain or was the captain of that spaceship in the Alien movie, and that was also based on a true story. And it gets wackier and wackier the deeper you go down this guy's rabbit hole. I was kind of shocked and amazed that there are two real live human people during this video. James Rink, who everybody's familiar with James Rink. He's the guy that runs Super Soldier Talk, and he got punked by that guy that made up a bunch of secret space stories and went and let himself be interviewed. And he sells questionable, let's just call them questionable meditation devices that are very expensive, that somebody says there's nothing inside it but James Rink's pubic hair. And hey, I'm not claiming that he puts pubic hair inside of a medical device or a meditation device. That's what people said in our live chat. That's what he puts in there. Why would you put pubic hair inside of a meditation pyramid or box? I don't know. But this guy runs Super Soldier Talk, and all the craziest wackadoos go there. And there's people that have Hulk superpowers. They Hulk out and become like the Incredible Hulk. There's people that are like, I guess, like Superman, Ismail Perez, he said they called him the Kryptonian in the secret space program. It just gets so wacky and stupid, and I can't express to you enough how wacky and stupid this gets. And I decided that if I have to sit through this, I'm going to make somebody sit through it with me. So we've got a fun co-host for you tonight. We're sobering her up in the back room right now. You know, I think it'll be easier if there's another perspective, because I don't. It's just, this is the wackiest wackadoo that we've ever had here, okay? And I haven't even begun to get into the claims of time travel back to the Civil War era, or how he time traveled 800 years into the future and met the Space Marines. What the hell am I doing here? This is so stupid. But honestly, occasionally we go down one of these super woo wackadoo holes, because it's a little lighter and not so intense. Yesterday we had a pretty intense show, and tomorrow night, I believe, I still have to check in with them, but I believe that we're going to have Ryder Lee here talking about his new, very serious JFK documentary. The death of an American icon who may have been murdered. Many people believe that there was some involvement from the CIA. Pretty heavy subjects. So we're going to do this strange trip down the woo wackadoo hole tonight. And joining me to do that is our friend of the show here, Thin Lizzie Borden.
Hey.
I'm not doing this by myself. If I got to listen to this wackadoo, I'm going to make you do it too.
Sounds good. I'm here for some comedy too. So,
and we have put the original video, which we're going to be commenting and critiquing. We're educating the public about these incredible claims of Star Trek is real. Star Trek's real.
I mean, if probably in their mind, if they believe it, then that's true. But
all right, before we get to the video, however, we have some kind and generous benefactors, and we have My Flock is Everywhere with a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, My Flock, and thank you for being a member as well. Thank you for your generosity. We've got Chris Holm, Skinny Chad Zumach with a kind and generous $2, said, I laughed so hard I got a pain in my side. This is going to be good. And I don't know if you're aware, Thin Lizzie Borden here, but David Wilcock said that Star Wars is basically a documentary.
Oh, gosh.
So now we got two different wackadoos saying that Star Trek is real and Star Wars is real.
Well, if Wilcox found out that I am 37 degrees away from the Queen of England, then I would scare the crap out of him, because I would have reptile blood in me then.
I could imagine. And we have My Flock is Everywhere celebrating 10 months as a membership, saying praise the cash. Yes, we're praising the cash tonight as well. We're praising the cash every night. But I have to put this fair use banner up, because some of these guys don't like it when you point out, like, I can't believe that he just sat there and listened to this guy, and then he's got a girl with him called the Cryptid Huntress, who's like a cryptid person, I guess. She hunts for Bigfoot and shit. And wait till you see, she's sitting there nodding and like smiling, like this is the greatest story ever. But this is fair use. It's a transformative work. We're not going to get through all this. There's just no way to. And let me cue it a little better so that we get past the. This is James Rink's Super Soldier introduction.
It looks like a Stretch Armstrong toy thing.
It looks like he stole this introduction off of like the Doom video game, I swear, or like Halo, but like a crappy old 90s version of Halo.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yes, we're going to get into. Oh, and the other reason that I brought you here is because I got a lot of complaints that all of these nasty men did not let you speak during the panel. And honestly, I want to apologize because that is true. Like every time Lizzie tried to chime in, one of the 6 men on the panel, or however many it was, just talked right over her, and she's too polite to say, "Hey, dummy, it's my turn." It's a panel. But I apologize for that. We want to.
No worries. I've been on a plethora of different panels, being the only female on. So, and I'm from Minnesota too, so it's Minnesota nice. But like you said, it's polite that I just,
Oh yeah,
but
you got that Midwest politeness
but
going.
yet when I'm up to a point, but then it's like I'm like you, where it's like my loud Polishness is like I'm my stoic, calm Norwegianness, and then it's the Latina Polak that like it's the fuel. So
Yeah, you don't want to be in the way of an angry Pollock. That's scary.
Mhm.
But I guess we'll get into this complete with the wonderful intro here. That's a oh, he's going out to battle the aliens. Oh no! Oh, that's Halo, man. This is Halo. Super Soldier Talk.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk.
Oh,
For those of you who do not know, my name is James Rink.
Yeah, and look at James Rink claims to be a super soldier. Now, I just want to ask the opinion of a woman. Does he look like a perfect male specimen to you, or am I wrong?
He's not my.
I'm not asking if you want to bang him, Lizzie.
No,
I'm asking come on. I'm asking, does he look like a super soldier to you, like the perfect?
Not to me, but I have seen this guy before because there's a documentary like Oki's.
Oki's Weird Stories.
He was the one that interviewed him. So I do know about this individual, but I wouldn't. I mean, looking at him,
like the king of the wackadoos. This guy, he's like the chief wackadoo, interviewing all the other wackadoos. Yeah, and interestingly, he claims a lot of things. Like he's a super soldier, and he's having this Montauk special event that's $1,000 to sleep. Somebody told me to sleep on the floor or something in some. What do you call one of those things? Where you rent a house, B&B.
Airbnb. Yeah,
Airbnb. Yeah, he's renting some big Airbnb house, and then he's charging all these people $1,000, but they're going to go, talk about the Montauk boys. I don't know if they're going to be doing masturbation parties too, if that's extra.
You never know. I mean,
yeah. Well, we better get into this. It gets right into it.
I will be the host here today, and also co-host with Jessica Jones, the cryptid huntress. I need to put your content. What's your website?
And by the way, I reached out to this girl and asked her about the event that they were doing with the child people, the people that have problems with children. That's all I'm going to say. And she didn't get back to me.
The description while you.
It's easy. Thanks for having me here with you tonight, James. My website is thecryptidhuntress.com. And my YouTube channel is The Cryptid Huntress. So you guys can find me over there.
We're giving her a plug.
No, is she still with Spaced Out Radio?
I don't know.
I used to work with her.
Did you? How wackadoo is she? Is she pretty wackadoo, isn't she?
She's very nice. She is a remote viewer. So I will just say
so that. She's got superpowers of her own. This is great. Couldn't she remote view and see if Star Trek was real and the Enterprise was really out there in space on secret missions to save Earth?
Hypothetically, I mean, if you're given a pinpoint, a target, you're supposed to be able to do that. So hypothetically, plausibly, I would assume so. Allegedly.
She better get on there.
The amazing Jimmy Payne.
Wait till you hear this introduction.
He was in part of the Men in Black, and he was on the positive side. There we go.
There's a good Man in Black.
Avatar pics showing up here. So today we're going to talk about his experience on the Enterprise. So according to Jimmy Payne, the Enterprise is real. Star Trek was based off of it, and the movie Star Trek 4, where they went Spock and Captain Kirk go back in time and to rescue the whales, is partly based on a true story. So Jimmy's
This guy
gonna
worked with
explain
Spock,
a little bit
man.
about how this all came into being, and maybe he can explain how did Gene Roddenberry manage to get this idea. Maybe he knows something about that too. And also was a Desilu
He made it
production
up.
with Lucille
It's
Ball,
fiction,
who was
dummy.
involved with setting up the whole Star Trek franchise back, I think it was in '67, if I'm not mistaken on that. But Jimmy, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, he
Well,
doesn't have. He's not.
how are
He
you
doesn't
doing
have
today?
his. You know. You
Video.
can see
Good.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, no video.
James doing
He's a
very
secret
good.
agent.
Awesome.
He's a secret agent. You
I
can't
guess
see what he
so.
looks like.
That's
Look,
true.
he
How
looks
dumb
like-
am I? How
He's
dumb
got
am
like
I?
a Zeus avatar. That's what he's got. Like a
I'm
Zeus
gonna-
avatar.
now you're gonna make my old Dupa put on. Yeah, no, I see that now.
All right. So, other thing, yeah. So, for those of you who do not know, other things about Jimmy, he worked. He was Captain Dallas in the movie Aliens. He also
And I think they mean the real life Captain Dallas in the
Mhm.
movie Aliens, because later in the interview he talks about his missions with the xenomorphs.
piloted a shuttlecraft for the Tall White Warriors at Area 51. He participated in time travel missions with the Montauk Boys at Camp Hero. And we're actually, I'm putting together a little a trip to go out to Camp Hero. So if you're interested in that, send me an email at supersoldiertalk@gmail.com. And he also recalls working for the Whaling Corporation. That's where he talked about the xenomorphs when he was Captain Dallas.
He says he worked for the Whaling Corporation. That's the evil corporation from the Alien movies.
That's
He saw
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, just like if if claims can be traced back, it's like these are the things that it's to logical people. It's like, why are you going to lie about something that can be just factually busted? But
Well,
these
you know what's so
people,
funny is
it's-
some of these people
it doesn't
all
register.
Yeah, they all rip off science fiction movies for their stories, but they usually change it a little.
Yes, they put their own spin on it.
This guy is saying that the movie is inspired by his adventures.
a giant statue of a face, a humanoid on Mars, 1974, along with Duncan O'Finian. He remembers seeing Tommy knockers, which is a muscular type of tall grays. And actually, we have so many more shows planned, and he knows about the Skinwalker Ranch and all that, but we'll have to say that for another time.
Tommy
On the moon,
knockers.
a
I
Titan.
actually saw that.
He worked on it.
like last year.
Well, so far he's cited
Stephen
what
King.
three or four movies that
Yeah,
he claims
yep.
are all real.
Yes.
Where do you hear this guy's voice? I want to get your opinion of where do you see this?
A massive underground base where he was fighting a monster called It, and that they made a movie.
They made a
So
movie
that's
of
another-
it. He fought the evil clown. It is the
Oh,
clown,
God.
right?
Well, yeah. Yep. That's another Stephen King.
About that. Also, it looked like the Junior Montauk monster, a Bigfoot type creature, which would gain strength by
No,
attacking.
it was a clown.
He also worked on a secret mission from Vandenberg Air Force Base for the Lunar Apollo 20 mission with William Rutledge, where they discovered the Oriental-looking EBE Mona Lisa. And according to him, the Apollo 20 footage on YouTube is real. So
the Apollo 20 footage is real. You know, where they showed that. Oh, what? Are you familiar with that? That Mona Lisa alien Apollo 20? That's supposed to be real. He's
I
saying that's
guess-
real.
I guess not by the name. If I see the image, I'm more of a visual person. So, let's see.
I'm
What
gonna.
this.
Yeah, I found that. Here, we'll share this tab. Remember, it looked like that's an art rendering.
Mhm.
This
Yes,
is the
yes,
real
yes.
what they
Yes, I
showed
do.
in the film, and there was like Q-tips over her face for some reason. That's supposed to be real. Yeah, the so-called Mona Lisa, one of two ETs found on the moon on the secret Apollo 20 mission. Oh,
Yeah. The Y
Oh.
files. That's where I've seen that.
yep.
seen
Yeah,
that before.
maybe. Yeah.
yeah, have so many things else we could. He met Jefferson Davis and went back in time in the Civil War. He was in the future, so he went 800 years in the future. Met the Colonial Marines. We talked about the Philadelphia.
Look at this cryptid huntress lady. She's like, yeah, this is cool. This is real.
Or she's like, I have to just put on a face and be like,
and sitting through this nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So anyway, Jimmy, I can just keep going on, but why don't you just go ahead and start talking? So we want to hear you, not me, probably.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to go back and talk to people about as far back as the mid '60s, when actress Lucille Ball bought the movie rights for the Star Trek. So
do you think they found this guy at the Piggly Wiggly?
Maybe. Oh my.
Maybe they found him down at the Piggly Wiggly.
For several decades, everything that you've seen on TV has been carefully crafted about the Enterprise, and that's all you know. But I want to talk about how I interacted with this crew. First of all, when you want to make a disclosure of information,
I mean, Lucille Ball has her own claim of UFO experience, I believe.
Yeah, and she did have some involvement.
Dental, yeah. So
she
she's
did
had
have
her own.
Some involvement with Star Trek. I never heard that she bought the rights to the Star Trek movie. That may be true. But she, when they were going to cancel Star Trek, she heavily lobbied to keep it on the air. But I believe that she did that because she thought it was good for like gender roles and for women in Hollywood and things like that.
Yes, definitely. Especially having, in that time, having, a woman of color be a lead role in that. So I mean,
that was the first lead role on television was Commander Uhura. So I applaud that.
And it comes to you, and there's parts of it that you can read and other parts that's just blacked out. But what happens is when they want to do soft disclosure, they'll take these classified documents and they'll write a story about it, and what's blacked out they just kind of add to the story. So just because you see a Captain Kirk doesn't mean that there is a Captain Kirk.
Now there's like an old punk song called by Spiz Energy that's called "Where's Captain Kirk," and so that song is in my head now.
Where's Captain Kirk?
A captain's chair on the Enterprise, and but there is no person named Captain Kirk.
Okay, so Star Trek is real, but there's no Captain Kirk. I'm disappointed already. I don't know about you. Okay.
If you're good at what you do, you can be the officer in charge of.
Can you put the hillbilly on 2x
now,
speed?
I have flown the Enterprise in the captain's chair, but I'm not the officer. Okay.
Oh, he's not Captain
there's
Kirk.
Several men in black.
Like Mr. Mackey, it's like the South Park.
Time, and it goes out on a short.
He's from the South. It's slow as molasses.
And they try us out. So I want you to kind of just take the Captain Kirk issue and put it on ice.
Okay.
There's no such.
Oh, good to know.
There's no named Captain Kirk.
No such officer named Captain Kirk.
A Spark
no, sorry, Bob.
is on there, and there is a guy from Scotland that's on there. you may know him as Scotty, but that's not his real name. That's his.
Oh, there is a real Scotty, but that
the
ain't his real
that
name.
they give him in the movie is Scotty. So I'm familiar with the engineer, and I'm familiar with the Vulcan. Now, the crew of the Enterprise is mostly humanoids. There are some
Could be,
humans on the craft, but
Getting time.
but they're more like you know, they're just brought on from time to time to give the crew a rest. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me explain how I got involved with the Enterprise. Many years ago, when I was stationed out of Area 51, I worked along with the Tall White Warriors. One in particular was Range 4 Harry.
It's like he's describing like the Nordic, you know, like the tall whites, but he's just leaving the Nordic part out.
Yeah, Range 4 Harry is the alien that he worked with. Okay. The Tall White Warriors.
And when I first got introduced to him as a child, he gave me some chores to do, like go feed his horse, Star. He had a horse named Star.
All right, I don't know. I'm already confused. Why does the alien have a horse named Star?
Because maybe it's gonna be like a horse that flies in the sky, so that's why its name is Star, because it's in the galaxy.
Oh God, this is so stupid.
I don't know.
We're only 8 minutes into this story already, and okay.
And I would feed the horse. The horse wasn't a four-legged horse, but a six-legged horse.
Oh
God! It wasn't a four-legged horse. That horse had 6 legs, not 4.
Oh
like
gosh!
You would see out of the movie Avatar. Okay, this horse has 6
Another
legs
movie.
to it. So
Another movie. This guy must watch science fiction movies all the time or something.
It's Stephen King. He's a Stephen King fan, and he's a James Cameron fan.
I bet you he watches X-Files too.
Oh yeah, you betcha. That's my northernness coming out against his southernness.
And based on the sound of his voice, I'd say he was about the age that he probably watched Star Trek as a child growing up on original television. So nothing suspicious here that he's, hitching his wagon to his favorite childhood science fiction show,
if he's been, submerged in that or immersed in it since a young age, then he's going to know, the stories, it's going to be memorized in his head, so he can put his own twists on it,
Yeah.
Before. And but when I was through feeding his horse, there were some holding tanks like catfish ponds, and I would get a 5-gallon bucket of fish, and I would go out to these holding tanks, and I would throw fish into the tank. And I had that was the first time that I encountered
man bear pig,
a Pterosaurus.
Bear pig.
A Pterosaurus, if y'all don't know, is an ancient sea creature that lived 65. Well, it went extinct 65 million.
A Pterosaurus
years ago.
Oh,
that is the Loch Ness monster.
Stinked. I thought he said it went a stink.
So far, we got Star Trek is real. He hung out with tall white aliens, and they had a 6-legged horse, and now he's bringing in the Loch Ness monster. As if, what we need here? We need a little more woo. We need more woo. There's not enough.
He's talking about freaking Scotty as a character. That's where that came from. Loch Ness, Scotland. That's where.
Oh, you're right. I didn't catch that. Scotland. Yeah. Right. So it's connected.
Yep.
Maybe the Scottish engineer on the Enterprise told them all about the Loch Ness monster.
Nessie is what I first encountered, and Nessie, I would say, is at least 85 feet long, perhaps longer. She's about the size of a whale, her belly, but her neck is very long. She's got four flippers, and she's very playful. She's kind of like like an orca or a dolphin.
It's a playful
or a seal.
monster.
She's very friendly.
Well,
And
I think
Nessie
orcas have killed, so
had gave birth to a baby calf, and
Now we got a baby Loch Ness monster.
Animal was about the size of a Volkswagen. Okay. So that's how I first got knowing about
Timber
Loch
Chat.
I
Ness
know. I
monster.
saw that Enzo's comment. That
Okay,
was
well,
funny.
years passed,
Okay.
and I had to grow up. And
I don't think you grew up, sir.
So it was in
I
the
don't
toad
think you-
tanks for a number of
His
years.
imagination is still running
And I
wild. You did
believe
not grow up.
why
Crazy.
it was taken out of the lake in Scotland is because you had people trying to hunt down and kill these creatures. And, so it was an endangered
the synapses
species
are
is
still
what it
connecting in a
was.
way.
Okay, well, I'm going to forward up and go forward a number of
Okay.
years here. And
Oh.
when I first met a Vulcan, I met Spock's niece. And I had never
Did you give him a death grip on you?
I had never dated
Met him?
a Vulcan,
Oh, he
And,
banged a Vulcan.
But anyway, she seemed like a nice, friendly person. And I
She was
gave
real-
her, I had a Hershey chocolate bar. And I said, would you like a candy bar?
So he's an old creepy
And
guy
she ate-
trying
Yeah.
to lure an alien girl with chocolate.
Yeah, get in the van.
I was
Tell
going to
him,
say,
Lizzie,
was
get
he
in
in
the
the van? Yeah,
Lizzie,
that's
get
exactly
in the van,
what
Lizzie. I got
Yeah.
candy, Lizzie. Get
That's
in
what
the
I'm trying to
van.
say. I'm like, that's what I'm trying to say.
So bad.
Did it have a window or was it a windowless white van? That's my question.
I
What was
never
he
even
driving?
knew that. I never knew that Spock had a niece, but then again, I didn't know that Spock had a stepsister until Star Trek Enterprise, or not Enterprise. What was it? What was the Star Trek with the black girl, and it was supposed to be
the newer ones?
Yeah, it was supposed to be his stepsister, Spock's stepsister. I'm blanking.
I didn't watch the newer. If Spooky's in the chat, then
somebody
Spooky
will tell
know.
us. What is the Star Trek with the
Star Trek Discovery, Enzo?
Discovery, yeah, with the spore drive, and I didn't like that. I thought it was poorly done. The new one with Captain Pike is pretty good though, so far. But this guy is saying that he met and lured Spock's niece into I don't know, maybe the van, the pleasure van down by the river with a chocolate bar,
a candy bar. Well, Vulcans have they're high. They need certain types of food. They crave high calorie foods, and she was going through her 7 years of heat where her blood boils. And in other words, she's in
sickening.
heat.
Ooh,
And
that bitch was in heat, Lizzie.
Women need chocolate for their cycles. So I mean,
really? Wait, that's the first I ever heard that. But I have been known to throw a chocolate bar at my wife and run during that.
Yes, it's actually it's good, the iron, but dark chocolate. So get her darker chocolate.
He's like, this Vulcan bitch was in heat when I gave her that chocolate bar.
Maybe.
Goodness.
I mean, gosh, how did he know? I mean, how did he know that's what that she
Well,
was
she
gonna
was
eat?
in
So he
heat,
went
so
for
it's about to get really good in the pleasure van down by the river, I think.
Me and her. And
squeak,
I
squeak, squeak.
liked her, you know. I didn't care that she was a Vulcan. I liked her as an individual. And I had never met Spock, you know, at that point.
He didn't mean
But anyway,
She gave
um,
him the Vulcan
I got
death
in
grip,
good
his
with her,
Johnson the
and
death grip.
the next thing I know, I met Spock, and
Oh, so he does meet Spock.
he was a science officer, and I went on a couple of missions with him, but the first one that I'm going to
I
talk.
can't believe that there's two human individuals that are sitting there listening to this guy talking about going on space missions with Spock, and they're not like, "Shut up, you wackadoo!" Like,
I mean,
really?
I know what it's like where
Wait, you want to
you
really
listen
get
to
upset?
people.
You want to really
but-
get upset because you've been a content creator. This got 11,000 views.
How long has it been? Is it new or what?
No,
How
it's
long?
been up for 1 month. It's in 30
Okay.
days. It got 11,000 views.
Yeah.
I think people probably tuned in just to go listen to this wackadoo, though, right? I mean,
It's like what we're doing.
I can't believe people would tune in and seriously listen to this. And
I
talk
agree.
about-
let's hear what he says about Spock and the secret mission.
Night is the one where two whales were transported off Earth. Now that is what the movie says, is that the Vulcan goes back in time, and they get these two whales and they transport them off Earth because Earth is in danger. Okay, well, in reality, Earth was not in danger. All it was that these two creatures were endangered. So the problem that we ran into is that the Enterprise is not made to lift anything that heavy. You have to have these creatures in a tank, and
Right. Look, even right here is this just nonsensical.
Yeah.
So you've got a spaceship that's got like thousands of rooms. It's that big, multiple levels. It's got warp drive that can travel faster than light speed.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't carry two whales. So now he's going to give us some convoluted explanation for what they did.
You know, 1 gallon of water weighs 8.3 pounds. So you're talking about an Olympic swimming pool size tanks for these Polarisauruses here. Okay,
Marco Span's got candy.
The Enterprise was not designed for that. So what we did, we had to get some. I had to get with the engineer, which is Scotty, and we had to bolt on 8 thrusters onto the back of the spacecraft. Now
Does this guy look like that? He can build spacecraft thrusters to you?
Mm-mm.
Maybe he just bolted them on and somebody else gave them to him. I don't know.
Well, and that's gosh, you can't try to understand crazy. It's just
we have 2 massive thrusters on the back of the Enterprise, but we had to bolt on 4.
And here's where he's wrong too, because in that movie they did not use the Enterprise for that mission. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise had been blown up or was gone, and they borrowed a Klingon bird of prey to do that mission because it had the cloaking device, and they used the cloaking device. I specifically remember that movie. The Enterprise wasn't in it. I think they showed them the Enterprise at the end of it. That's why it was called the Voyage Home, because they went back in time. They got the whales. They went back to the future. They saved Earth, and their reward was a new Enterprise. So this guy is completely like, okay,
Mhm.
we both during the mission we bolted thrusters on the Enterprise. There's a major plot hole here, Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it's a Mel's hole size of a plot hole.
Yeah, that picture to the left, to right there to the left. Look to your left. Yeah, that one right there, James. You see those two big thrusters on the back? Well, there's a beam that comes up from the fuselage, and that beam that comes up, we had to put on 4 boosters there on the left side and another 4 on the right side.
I don't think this guy knows the Star Trek because those aren't thrusters on the back. Those are the warp nacelles. Those are the warp engines. Those aren't thrusters, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
this
don't know
guy's
the anatomy
Star
of
Trek
the,
is weak. If you're going to come out and say that you were on the Enterprise, at least you know something about the Enterprise. This is weak.
Just to give it the power.
If it can be like you, if you know it right away, then it's just why would you say something that obviously is gonna be like?
Oh, this is
you know,
this is just wackadoo-ness. Yeah.
Up these marine mammals, cause the water in the tanks was pushing the craft to its limits. Okay. Now,
ufology research wants to jump off the building rather than listen to any more of this.
Was let off.
No, you're here now.
And it was only deemed that it was, other words, because it was such a heavy lift, we need to get all the weight we could off of the Enterprise. So all the crew was let off. It was just a skeleton crew that was on the craft. Me, the Vulcan,
Jimmy Church would have this guy as a guest.
Scotty,
yeah,
and just a few other guys, a few other MIBs.
And the Men in Black were on a mission too.
We put these marine creatures in a tank.
You're right, philosophical zombie. No
discernment.
discernment.
And as we were trying to break out of Earth's gravity,
yes, this is the craziest.
This is the biggest wackadoo
ever.
And we had partial flooding. We had one of the tanks partially ruptured, and we had flooding in the Bay Area, and at least waist deep.
Thank you, Chris Holmes, Kenny Chad Zumak with the kind of generous $2 says Jimmy Payne's is James Rink's Pete Peterson. I totally agree. Yeah. This guy is his Pete Peterson, his #1 source. I like how James Rink he turned his camera off for most of this already, probably because he can't keep a straight face.
I did. I noticed that, and that not unless he was in the bathroom, because it's like when he came back, it's like he kind of had like emotion with him. So yeah, he could have just like went and been like,
I'll be right back, Lizzie. Yeah. I gotta take a shit. I'll be right back. After this guy excited me so much with his stories that Star Trek are real.
Or he
suddenly had to take a dump. Oh my god!
What he did. What he did.
Yeah.
So the ship looked like this.
Yes.
So the bay was at the bottom here where this.
Yes. Okay. Now I want to say something. When the Phoenix Lights occurred in 1997.
Oh, now he's going to tie the Phoenix Lights in with his Star Trek fantasies.
That was the Enterprise.
Oh, that was
the Phoenix there. What they were looking at.
All right, we solved the mystery of the Phoenix Lights. Look at James Rink.
I know. That's exactly I was like.
James Rink, he's like, oh my god, he's saying that the Phoenix Lights were the Star Trek Enterprise. This guy is such a wackadoo. This is crazy.
That. And
all right, straighten out. Act like you believe this guy.
They want to know what the Phoenix Lights were. Well, that was the Enterprise.
Well, we solved the mystery. The Phoenix Lights was the Star Trek Enterprise in the Earth's atmosphere for some reason. Maybe they were dropping whales off to save Earth.
There is a good song called "Flying Whales" by a French metal band called
Oh, you're
Gojira.
exactly like me. You're like just filled with useless knowledge about obscure music.
We would have a great team for trivia. Where it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
other people's
Useless.
knowledge.
Totally. I have so much of that totally useless music knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, getting back to my story.
Getting back to it. We're still
as
on
we
it.
were taking off,
Still, it is
one
a
of the
story.
I-beams snapped in the holding area, and we had partial flooding. But we were able to get up into space, and we had a special hatch.
Terry
door
Brown, thank you. Says it's
on these
goofy. I
tanks
tell
that we
you,
could connect
goofy.
it
Thank
to-
you
to
for
the
kindness and
tank
generosity and
outside.
support.
And open it up and let these creatures into the other spacecraft. So just because you see a movie about whales isn't necessarily true. There's some truth to it.
Oh, that movie
Yeah,
is
there were
not
two
necessarily
marine
true, but
animals,
some of
all
it's
right,
true.
but it was a Loch Ness monster and the little baby creature.
Oh, it wasn't whales, Thin Lizzy. It was the Loch Ness monster that they put on the ship to save Earth.
I saw a comment from Chris Holm that the Phoenix Lights was the taking away the Loch Ness monster. That was funny.
This is just
Oh.
yes. The Phoenix Lights was the Enterprise taking the Loch Ness monster off planet.
Yeah.
Now you know.
You know it's confirmed here.
Tomfoolery says, "I don't think the medicine replicators are working on this on his deck." Oh no. He's looking online to find the Star Trek and the Starfleet entrance sign-up page. Yeah, he wants to be in the secret space program and be on the Enterprise. And look at this girl. She hasn't said anything. Like, how do you sit through this and not say, "Wait a minute, hold on"?
Well, and that's where it's like they're not even like you said, he's still telling his story. It's not even like going back and forth dialogue. It's just one of those guests that they just talk and you just let them, some people you just let them sit, you relax back and you just let them until they get tired, and then so I'm waiting until they can actually like have a dialogue, and if the dialogue
20
is
minutes
going to
in,
be,
and so far Rink only clarified one thing. Like, is this what the Enterprise looked like? It looked like the movie, right? And the guy's like, "Yeah, that's what it looked like."
Mm-hmm.
So lots of really good questions to ask you. So someone wants to know, how tall are the Vulcans?
Actually, Spark is not tall.
So instead of Spock, it's Spark.
Spark ain't tall at all, Thin Lizzy. I hate to make fun of the guy's accent too. I shouldn't do that because I have a lot of friends that are Southern, and I think most Southerners get a bad rap because of that accent.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's low-hanging fruit to make fun of them.
My Minnesotan, the thing where it's like it could be Fargo, so it's like.
And I don't know. I don't know if you've ever been to the South. They are incredibly nice people. They're super hospitable and nice. I love traveling in the South.
I would like to. I would like to go to New Orleans and look at the haunted New Orleans.
Yeah.
4'4" or 5'2".
So Spock's a short guy.
Oh wow. Do they have special abilities like to mind meld? When they can connect to minds?
Yes, they have those abilities.
Do they have the ability where they can touch somebody in the back and they can collapse?
Yeah, they have the ability, but I have not seen it. But they do have that ability.
Well, I mean, people can do that. It just depends on how hard that you touch the person.
Yeah. Spock's niece, when I was banging her, she never gave me that death grip. She never gave me the Vulcan mind meld.
Mm-mm.
We were bumping uglies melding though. Jesus God.
Okay. Well, what about their? Are they unemotional like Spock is? Does that? Do you know anything about their emotions?
Yes, they don't. They're void of emotions. It's kind of like if you're walking across the street and there's a car that's going to run a red light and run over you. Okay, well, um, Spark may call out to you and say, "Hey, jump out of the way."
You're right. So wait, is he saying his name's not Spock? It's Spark.
Right. I heard Spark.
Yeah, he keeps calling him Spark.
So that's where it's like, yeah, I thought I heard Spock in the beginning of this when
He
he was
said Spock a few times. Now he's saying
but
Spark.
now I hear Spark. So
Spark.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing currently.
Spark ain't got no emotions.
But he's not going to jump into the path of the car to pull you out because it's a danger to him. What he does is logic. They look at things in an abstract manner. If the probability is that you can be saved without one of them being injured or killed, yeah, they'll do it, but they're not going to go and risk their own life over you because you have no bearing on their mission here.
All right, we don't have to
Did
worry about getting murdered
Spock's
by Vulcan.
or Sparks? I guess it's Spock. Sparks.
Spock.
Yeah. Did his niece ever mind meld with you, and what was it like?
Well, I mean, it was sexual in nature.
I was gonna say like
Everything was sexual with her.
Everything was sexual with her. He was
So-
getting it on.
it's oh gosh.
Oh, and I got bad news then. I got bad news because
Uh-oh.
on my Twitter earlier, I announced that there was a new whistleblower found.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw that, and he was making some specific claims, right? Here, I'll show you the new whistleblower.
Yeah, oh yes, that's what I
Homeboy says that he was the first to ever find and bag a new alien life form. It looks like he wasn't the first because this guy was banging Spock's Vulcan niece, and his
It's
relationship was sexual in nature.
It was perfect. Yes, I shared that in the Discord.
That's a very Southern thing for a Southern guy to say too. Our relationship was sexual in nature.
Yes, it
Oh no!
definitely is. Oh,
You like to rub his ears. Look at this Huntress girl. She's like,
oh. Oh, it's still on the picture.
"Oh, I'm sorry."
You're good. You're good.
Thank you. That's that's helpful. So she liked to rub his ears.
And it was kind of like an opposites attract each other. Okay. She's very curious about me.
Jeff,
Oh
you
Lord.
want to throw at our special guest here?
I mean, did she have pointed ears? That's what I'm wondering. Did you? I don't know if you answered that already.
Her ears was somewhat pointed, but I wouldn't say it was like that in the movie.
Well, everything's exaggerated in the movies, don't you know?
A little larger
Yeah.
than
Come
normal.
on.
And they do kind of go back in backwards into the back of the skull.
Do they find the odor of humans to be detestable?
I never had that problem with her. I think I
Tell
don't
us a
know
wet
if she'd
bag
ever
of
been
ham.
with a human before.
Oh gosh.
But it wasn't a matter of her being a Vulcan or me being a human. It's just that
Spork.
sometimes opposites attract, and that was what it was with her. And I, like I said, I had a Hershey chocolate bar, and they just crave chocolate. Now, Spark, he prefers peanut butter. They have to have
So
a
he likes
real high
Reese's?
calorie.
Shut up. Spock likes peanut butter. How do you know that's not true? Prove it's not true. Spock likes peanut butter.
I mean, he can. That's good. It's
They should like
nutritious, like
Reese's
you
peanut
say.
butter cups.
Yeah, that's
then.
yeah.
'Cause they got
Reese's.
chocolate and the peanut butter. Yeah.
Yep.
function.
Or
Okay,
ET, the little Reese's bite, the Reese's Pieces.
Reese's
the-
Pieces. Yeah.
Yes. Another alien thing.
Yeah.
in other words, they eat a lot of junk food, what we consider junk food.
Now that's not true to Star Trek lore either, because in Star Trek they're vegetarians. I think, I believe, at least I remember that. Maybe from Star Trek Enterprise, that one Vulcan.
Mhm.
You know, I can't remember her name either, but she
Mhm.
was always eating salads and stuff. She would never eat meat. So I thought that was a Vulcan thing, that they were vegetarian. I don't know that they'd be eating a lot of junk food.
Yeah.
This
no,
guy-
I can see that.
If you're
I
going
can
to
see
claim
that.
Star Trek is real, at least know some of the Star Trek lore, so that
Well,
you know.
yeah, yes, exactly. Know the lore of it for sure, for sure.
This guy would get thrown out of a Star Trek convention for being wrong about everything.
Is
I'm
is
sure.
they have to have it.
I know
Okay.
more about Star Wars than
Oh.
Star Trek.
Yeah, me
so
too,
that's-
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
They get weak if they don't have a high calorie food. Not necessarily healthy, but a high calorie food.
Did they have food replicators on the Enterprise where you could get those food products?
James, when I was there, you have to remember, they
Was
eat
it
that
like
food all the time,
the food
and when they come to Earth,
Back to
I
the
mean, it's
Future?
like a paradise to them. You know,
Yeah.
why would you want to eat the food on the Enterprise while you can, get some peanut butter or a Hershey bar? You know what I mean? It'd be just like you going to school and you know what's in your cafeteria. You'll eat it, but let's face it, it's not like you going out to a
She
fancy
likes body
restaurant.
spray.
Did you ever eat the food from the replicator?
No,
Ew.
I ate rations.
That's a long time.
What
to
I ate
be
was
like,
what the military. Well,
Yeah. Well, did I eat food out the replicator? Like, he's taking a long time to answer.
yes,
and
yes. He
If you
is on
had
that
this, makes no
question.
sense too. He's saying, "No, I ate rations." If you had a food replicator that could perfectly replicate any Earth food that you wanted at any time you wanted it, as much as you wanted,
Mhm.
why on earth would you eat rations? Do you ever have military rations?
I don't think I've had it, but the meal,
It
the
depends on
ready-
what you get. Like Navy
I know I
MREs.
know about
Yeah,
MREs.
like-
I haven't had them, but I know of them.
Navy MREs are the best, I think. And I've
Mhm.
tried Army, Marine, and Navy MREs. I don't think I've ever tried or seen even Air Force MREs, but I'm sure they have. I don't know. But I don't understand why you would eat prepackaged, like, garbage food.
I mean, nothing really makes sense. That's what I'm saying.
what we carried on. I can't eat all the junk food that the Vulcans eat. Okay, they're definitely love junk food. Like you go to a store and there's a nab machine, okay, and it's got peanut butter in nabs in there, and just basically junk food. they crave it. They wouldn't want to sit down and eat a nice steak, or or either a nice bowl of soup. What they want is high calorie junk food.
Oh wow! Did they ever talk about their homeworld, planet Vulcan? Did you know anything about it? What can you tell us about planet Vulcan?
Well, there's a Mount Sinai there that I went to it one time.
That's right. Vulcans are
and I looked at it, and it's a very high mountain. I will compare it to Mount Everest here on Earth, and part of their ritual is that they have to climb the mountain. Okay, and that's
Grace
just
like strawberries.
something that
Yes,
they go through. Now, the females are a little different. The females, okay, like Spock's mother.
some of them aren't bad.
When Spock's father died, Spock didn't send his mother any flowers, and this enraged
So
all
stupid.
the female Vulcans, and they wouldn't cook for him. So I was having to go around and break into these nab machines. I didn't have no money, but I would have to break in these nab.
Look at this poor cryptid huntress. She
Oh
keeps
my
looking
gosh.
over to the side like, what am I doing here?
And that's the thing where it's like, this is way, like, she probably is thinking that he's a wackadoo, but it's like you're on this thing, and it's like
She's just stuck
you have
there.
to go.
Yeah.
You sometimes
You gotta go
you're
with
in those
it. You just
positions.
gotta, all right, let's
Yes.
just
Yep.
like
Yep.
I don't know about you, but like I hate to waste time. And like if I was sitting here, I would just leave. I would just be like, fuck, I'm out. I have to check out. Like, all right, they like chocolate. All right, you banged the Vulcan. All right, the Enterprise is real. All right, dude. Good luck with
Are they
your
going to talk about babies?
career here.
Is he going to make a baby?
I don't
That's
know.
where I wonder if there's going to
Machines
be a
and
hybrid.
So and here's the thing, like if you're gonna make up a stupid story, like at least make it in like a good story. So far, all this guy has talked about is like those Vulcans like chocolate and peanut butter, and that the bitch was in heat when I got her, and
For 7 years. 7 years of that.
I don't know. And we're 27 minutes into this guy talking about his story, and it's a pretty bad story so far. I gotta say, I'm highly disappointed. But the fact that two grown adults would sit there and listen to this guy and not stop him and say, "Do you notice nobody asked for evidence yet?"
Right.
Nobody said, "You got any proof of this?" Or
yeah.
you just like, this is crazy.
Take a duffel bag and get all these crackers and peanut butter nabs out of it and bring to him because he had angered the females in his clan. Okay.
All right. So his father died. I'm trying to follow. Correct me, I think, if I get it wrong. So Spock's father died, and then they gave Spock's father. Spock didn't give his father or his mother flowers, so he had to steal peanut butter crackers out of the MREs to give to the bitches who were mad about the flowers.
I think so.
I got it.
I mean that's I'm on that page, so.
But he wasn't being ugly to his mother. They just, what it is, they don't show emotion. Okay, they're void of emotions, and but every once in a while, a female Vulcan will put her foot down, and this time they did on him.
Wow. Is planet Vulcan volcanic?
James, I did not get a chance to explore the planet, but it
I did not know
definitely
that. Let's talk about this. So this cryptid huntress claims to have captured tons of videos of UFOs, aliens, cryptids, Bigfoot, and cubic portals at an eerie ranch in the southeast of the United States, but has yet to release any. Sound familiar? I wasn't aware of that, but thanks for bringing that to my attention.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
Maybe that's why she's not
the
speaking
ranch.
up, because there's this unwritten rule among all these people that BS like this. Like, don't tell anybody my stories are fake, and I won't say yours are fake.
Mhm.
You know, this is kind of stupid and childish, right?
And that's the thing where it's like,
Can't take much more here.
I believe that there are people with actual gifts, and
Yeah, I believe there's a lot of strange and mysterious things, but this is just a little too much.
Yeah, it's just too. Yeah, it's too much.
And look at James Rink. He's just sitting there like, this is totally okay. This is totally good.
It's because it's gonna make for good views, good numbers is what he's, that's the thing. It's the more outrageous, outlandish claims. It's gonna be, the more views.
He must be thinking
Mountains
this.
on it. So if you have mountains, it probably was volcanic, at some point.
Do you know anything about the? I think it's called the Palm Far, if I'm not mistaken. Their mating ritual that happens, I guess once every 7 years.
Yeah, that's what happened when I met his niece. She was going through that where her blood catches on fire. I didn't know anything about that when I met her.
It's blood,
and
her blood. The blood boils. It's not their blood catches on fire. This guy doesn't know Star Trek at all. It's like he watched like 3 episodes.
He did say that the blood boils, but now he's saying, it catches on fire. So he's saying 2 different.
She was in heat and her blood caught on fire.
She, like I said, it was love at first sight when I gave her the Hershey bar.
Jessica, you have some questions? What do you think? What should we ask them next?
Of course, my questions would generally be more about the Loch Ness monster type of dinosaur. Now, was this? It's like the Loch Ness monster. Did it come out of Loch Ness, and was it what we would consider to be Nessie?
Yes, it was Nessie. And now let me say this.
Exactly.
Back in 1940. During World War II, the early days of World War II, an Italian pilot was doing a reconnaissance mission over in Scotland, and he was flying across the lake, and he saw the Loch Ness monster, and he went ahead and dropped a bomb on the lake. And one of the monsters floated back up. But what happened was he went back and he filed it with the Italian Air Force. Mussolini picked up on it, and Mussolini took it seriously. So anyway, the Italian army contacted the German army, and
I was wondering when the National Socialists.
Yeah, you got to bring in the Nazis. Yeah,
Goebbels got the report, and he thought it was just a bogus, that the British had made all this up, and he dismissed it, but that was the first report that there was a creature in the lake, and it came from an Italian pilot.
Oh
wow! So I just displaying the article there on the military.com.
Yeah, he said, "Wow." Wow.
So, do you have any idea how long that Loch Ness, the plesiosaurus creature, was in that lake?
Well, they supposedly went extinct 65 million years ago.
It's all in the details.
Now,
it's all in
what
the
we
details.
know is that
Oh yeah,
fossil records dates back over 300 million years. So it's as old as 300. The fossils, they lived as far back as 300 million years ago, but they seem to have died out around 65 million years ago.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
But it came up from the sea and it got into the lake. And apparently maybe it was just trying to give birth in calm waters, away from the sharks. That might be why it went up into the lake, because of the sharks.
Patty, this is from Super Soldier.
Out in the sea there.
So one theory is that there's more water underground than there are on the surface. So
yeah, we
there's
need to
giant
know if it was
oceans
crunchy
that
or
flow
smooth.
deep within the earth.
Exactly. I
And
mean,
that
that's a
these creatures can
huge
go
difference.
down there, and that there's an entrance that they can go all the way up into Loch Ness. So what do you think of that theory? That there's probably more of them on this
Aliens
planet
like
deep in the
chocolate.
earth.
He prefers mushrooms.
Well, James,
Oh yeah.
the part about underwater caves, that's probably true. I believe if there were more of them, we'd have seen it by now. I believe that Nessie was the last of her kind. Now, what happened to the male
Showed
that
him how
got
to
her pregnant,
play the
I don't know.
bagpipes.
Maybe it died or somebody shot it. Maybe, pollution or whatever.
Babies.
This is
So this
Super
article
Soldier
here
talk.
states that in
Super soaker
1965,
talk.
2 men aboard the Alvin submarine spotted an animal at 50
Maybe he's a super soldier too. You don't
100
know.
feet deep within the Atlantic Ocean. One of the men stated that it looked exactly like a plesiosaur and described it as over 40 feet long. So I think, Jimmy, there's a lot more of these creatures still within the earth. But yeah, I guess you
Is
say
it
they're
going to
really
be
shy.
in Earth yet?
Shy creatures.
Did they play Amazing
Well,
Grace in the
contact
cargo bay?
humans.
It definitely was friendly. She would flip her fins and splash water on me like a
Lucky Nessie
a
wasn't in
dolphin
heat.
would.
Okay, we
I
don't
guess she
kink
did
shame
that
here.
to me
Okay,
off.
whatever they're.
It's like I said in the
She
desert,
would
it's pretty
splash
hot.
me
Oh
with her.
my God, this is so
I
stupid.
believe that, had I got into the tank, I might could have rode her like you would a dolphin or whatever. I didn't
Make
do
it up
that.
as he goes.
Mhm. Hey, totally. It's-
Orgasmatron. I need an
like I said,
orgasmatron.
I do believe that it had to be transported off world because it
Female
would have been
Nessies
shot
kill their
or
mates.
killed. There's no doubt that it would have been harmed. And I do believe that
The
Area
middle flat Earth is
51
next.
did the right, responsible thing to save this creature. That's kind of unusual in MIB, Men in Black, but that I did do that.
The hosts are trying to take this guy seriously. Yeah.
Transport this creature off world, but
Did the Vulcans tell you anything about its history, where these creatures came from? Maybe there's portals in the ocean where they're coming from other worlds.
Getting all hot for
What do you think of
Jack
that?
Queen.
no, I don't think there's portals in the
Transported Nessie
ocean.
off world so
And
this
I don't
guy
think-
didn't
I
rape it.
do believe that they all life
I mean, that's
on
what
Earth
it's. Yeah, it
was seated
seems
here
like it's going
by
down
Yeah,
that
let's
route.
start a betting.
Other-
How long
other
before this guy's on
intelligence.
Jimmy Church?
okay. And
Yeah.
if I recalled right, the mission was, and if I'm going back a number of years, I believe that mission, if I remember right, was called Noah's Ark. In other words, where you get
Now he's tying Noah's Ark into
two
this
of each
nonsense?
Yeah.
type of creature, and you put it on a vessel, to save it.
This has to be a troll.
I believe that was the name of the mission of the Ark,
No,
or Noah's Ark, or
this
whatever.
guy,
But it was
you know,
definitely
James
to
Rink acts like
preserve
he
the
really
animal.
knows this guy well. Like he's been
Mhm.
talking to
Do you
him
have
for a while.
information about what happened?
Well,
Kitty
it's,
Queen rules.
Caused the flood?
it's like, yeah, he's
James,
just
I mean, I don't
boasting
have
him.
any information on that. All I know is that
I never knew
my
that.
orders came in
The
that
Zygons
you
and
know we
Doctor
had
Who
to
trying
get
to
this
release Nessie
creature
as a weapon once.
transported off world, and
Mm-hmm.
They need to spice.
you know, I was caught up in it.
Going here.
Okay, so let's discuss. So how do they actually catch it from Loch Ness?
Ooh,
I can't tell you, James, because
wrong button.
it
There.
was already at Nellis when I got there.
Yes.
I do know this.
Voyage home, but the whales
There's
took
been
Nessie's.
a number
No,
of
they were, it wasn't whales. It was Loch Ness
organizations or
monsters
clubs or
gosh.
whatever
in
through the years,
secret
like
space
the
thing.
Loch Ness Society, where these people go out
On
and
the
they
show,
put
he can do better
sonar
fake sci-fi
in the
than this.
lake and they
We should have
you
a
know,
plan.
they
We
search
should
for this
put a
creature.
mole on that dude's channel.
That creature hadn't been in that lake since I was a
He's holding
kid.
his feet
Okay,
hostage. Oh
and
God!
you still have
God
people
forbid.
Oh yeah.
funding
Yeah,
expeditions.
give this guy a
look
chocolate
for
bar.
it's
Start
gone.
Skippy and send him to
Okay,
the next
the
congressional
creature's
hearing.
gone.
Gosh.
Jessica, do you know about any other reports of plesiosaurus sightings around the planet?
Not necessarily plesiosaurs, but we do have lake monsters, which could be similar to what
Him
Nessie
and David
was.
Wilcock together.
We
That's too much
we have
gold.
modern
The
day
world, the
dinosaur
earth would
sightings all over the
explode.
Appalachian
Yeah.
Mountains right
Oh
now.
yeah.
And we have pterosaur sightings all over North America at the moment.
Oh gosh.
So for whatever reason, we're having an
A
uptick
cuckoo.
in seeing them.
Yeah.
Period. A lot of reports of
Cuckoo.
velociraptors through the mountains.
There's
So it's just something else to
velociraptors.
have to look out for when we're out there camping and doing our Bigfoot research.
Yes. Well, this guy went back in time, and they got the
Great.
Loch Ness
Thank you.
monsters.
All right, so
okay?
I guess we can probably move on. Let's discuss the actual the construction of the tank. In the movie, they mentioned about a material called transparent aluminum, and Spock traded. I think didn't he trade Velcro for or maybe that was a different movie. I don't know, different version. Does anybody know? Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got in there, and
I love how James Rink wants specific details. Like, listen, in the movie, they used transparent aluminum to make the tank, but what did they use in the real mission with the Loch Ness monster? This is so stupid. Oh my God.
re-engineered it.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
just can't.
some lighter,
Just can't have a straight
stronger
face.
material, you know, to make it with.
This guy's making this up as
You
he
have to
goes.
remember,
Yeah, he totally
He's like,
is.
they re-engineered some strong material. I forget the plot of the movie. I lost the plot.
the
Exactly.
Enterprise can't
Exactly.
manufacture anything. It has to be sourced locally from Earth.
The Enterprise can't manufacture anything. They have replicators. They can manufacture literally anything.
Yeah.
They have replicators. This guy's
Right.
full of plot holes.
It's exactly, and that's the thing. It's just people don't.
It's not just people might not realize this, but the replicators, according to what I know or what I remember, they don't just replicate food. There's replicators that can replicate anything.
Okay.
Like there was a Star Trek: The Next Generation episode where they got the game on some off-world planet and they replicated a bunch of the games. Or they needed, you know, I don't know, some colony needed like aluminum for building structures, and they replicated aluminum, and you know, and this guy just said, well, the Enterprise can't manufacture anything. Yeah, this guy's full of it.
So,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
He's got to go back and
yeah.
rewrite this whole stupid story.
he's full of crap at max capacity.
Yes, he's so full of it. He waddles, not walks.
the
Yes.
tanks
He's a
had to be
weeble wobble.
We
made.
will
I scared
wobble.
my cat
we
because
had
I
the
laughed.
panels.
Yeah, people stop him and you're like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm just so full of shit. I got a weeble wobble down the street.
Uh,
Diaper.
you know, outsourced here on Earth.
Oh wow. And so it was.
That's James Rink. Oh wow. James Rink is realizing, oh, he doesn't even know Star Trek.
Transparent aluminum. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now there's actually reports how they're actually making transparent aluminum, but I guess maybe they got that from the Vulcans back in the 1980s or 60. What did you say? 60s? When did this operation take place?
James, when I first saw.
Yeah. When did this operation happen? James, he's buying time to figure out a timeline here. This is terrible.
Nessie, this was in the 60s, late 60s is when I first saw her and the little one at Nellis now. And it was like 97 is when I believe that was when it was transported off world.
1997 might have been when the movie The Voyage Home came. I gotta check. I'm sorry. The Voyage Home release date. Let's see when that was released. Oh no, it was 1986. That movie was released. Wow, it's that old. I thought it was it might have been the 90s. I thought. November 26, 1986, The Voyage Home was released in North America by Paramount Pictures, the top-grossing film at the weekend box office. So wait a minute. He's saying, do we catch the problem here? He just said that this operation took place in 1997. And Star Trek, The Voyage Home, the movie came out in 1986. But he's saying that they based the movie on the real mission he was on, and he's 10 years off. Oh, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
This guy's an idiot, and these two idiots didn't catch this.
It's just
so stupid. This guy is here saying the movie, the Star Trek The Voyage Home, is based on a true story that from a secret mission I was on, and he's asked when was the mission? 1997, but the movie came out 10 years before the secret mission, so they must have time traveled back to the they must have time traveled after the secret mission with the Nessies and the Enterprise, time traveled back to the 80s and then whispered in Gene Roddenberry and everybody else's ears that make Star Trek movies, and then they made the movie 10 years before the mission. Exactly. And these guys are just letting him talk. I would jump all over. I'd be like, wait a minute, dude.
It was around 97.
So the movie was made before it actually happened.
Well,
he did catch.
Like I said, when you're dealing with time travel, it doesn't matter. But when it occurred. Okay, it's a form of soft disclosure is what it is.
When you're dealing with time travel, it doesn't matter. It's a form of soft disclosure. Look at the Huntress lady. She's like, uh-oh, this is all fake.
All right. Here's a great question from Vast Thinker.
He doesn't challenge anything. He just moves right on, right?
Yeah. Plesiosaurus too.
All I know is that once we were able to break free of Earth's gravity and get it up into space is where the Enterprise docked next to a tank in space. It had a special hatch on the side of it. And it's like two spacecraft.
Look at what somebody's sending me on Twitter. They must be monitoring the broadcast. I warned you about that time machine, Carl. Carl died before he was born. Oh, God, this is so stupid.
Gosh.
So stupid. And then these two people are sitting there with a straight face. They didn't even challenge him on this.
Yeah. That's
the guy's whole story is that this. Oh my God!
No, it just doesn't make any sense, and
it's just totally nonsensical.
This craft locked. We were able to open the hatch between the two, and and let the creatures go into the new tank in the adjoining ship.
Oh wow! And along with the baby too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Like
what
the Mystico says, time travel doesn't matter unless you kill your grandfather. Back to the Future, baby.
You don't ask real questions or challenge the guest. Yeah, that's the first rule of the grift.
Mhm.
It
Oh,
never
Nessie.
challenge the guest.
did it have stripes?
It looked a little darker on the top of it than her tummy. Her tummy's a little bit lighter.
Oh, her tummy.
Um,
Okay.
I would say similar to a dolphin, but maybe a little darker.
He keeps.
Nuclear vessels.
Here's a great
yeah.
question
I
from
wouldn't
Barry
trust
Jackson.
him around a
Could Nessie
dolphin.
communicate well?
I'm just gonna say that.
I never tried. Now, and I have
This could be Corbell's
communicated with
newest
dolphins,
storyline. Yes.
Maybe.
when I was, at Stanford
They slingshot around the
University.
sun to travel back in time. Yes.
I have communicated with dolphins.
What color is your
telepathically,
lightsaber,
but
Jimmy?
I never did it with Nessie. I would probably have to get into the tank to do that, and I didn't
How
get
long
into
before
the
this guy
tank.
is at a congressional hearing?
Oh wow. Okay, so we can.
Yeah, that's a good
here's another
question.
really good question. What is chocolate an aphrodisiac to the Vulcans?
I think it's an
It's
aphrodisiac.
like cocaine to them. They can't get enough of it.
It's like cocaine.
I mean, caffeine is a stimulant, so is cocaine. So I guess I guess I could see one link.
Wait, is chocolate really? Chocolate really is an aphrodisiac. I've heard.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was saying. Is I think it is a real aphrodisiac, and so, but it does have some caffeine content too. So at least it's like I found one thread that's like, okay, well, I could see where it's a stimulant.
Idemon says, would milk this guest, okay? Great content behind a paywall. I hear more Star Trek stories, right? Oh my God.
Mhm.
Is it a illicit drug over in their homeworld, like coffee is to some aliens?
It's just it's like
Don't worry,
coffee
what's
to
in your
them.
pill
They
bottle?
just
Yes.
they
That would
really
be a
like
mating
it.
call.
All right.
Darker
And
milk.
what is you mentioned?
Yeah,
the
I need to know if
Vulcan
it's
family
dark. I need to know if it's dark or milk chocolate. So if I
Get
ever
both.
meet a hot Vulcan chick,
Get
I'll
both.
get both.
Have
revolves around the
both.
female.
Have
It's
both
to be
available, yes.
safe. Have both.
I don't know. I've never liked dark chocolate very much. Have you? Do you?
Yeah,
Or white
I do.
chocolate. I don't like white chocolate. I don't like dark. I'll eat dark chocolate occasionally,
Mhm.
but not very much.
I'll
And just
eat
like
it.
regular Hershey bars or Hershey Symphony bars are good too.
I do. I like the Forever Rocher, so I like the
I like those.
hazelnut. But I do. I'll go for like a dark chocolate, but I like the Mexican hot chocolate. It's called abuelita, so
I've
it's
had that
has
before,
cinnamon
yeah.
and so I do like those kind of chocolate things.
Good to know. Men take note, right?
No. So what can you
Good
tell us about
men
their
do.
culture?
Well, the female is the one that rears the children in the family. She educates the family. The male is
He's talking about the
he's
Vulcan
just there to
culture now.
breed, okay? And
Sounds
he
good to
goes
me.
out and he makes a living and he sends the money back to the females. And the females are expecting their men to support them, okay?
Oh no, yeah.
And but with Sparks, the thing with him was that when his father died,
James Pepper says sometimes you feel like a
he
nut.
didn't send his mother flowers, and that's what
Yeah.
got him in trouble with the other females. So,
Vulcan's
So-
dark cocoa powder. Yes.
he's not a bad person. I mean, that's just the way. It's just their nature.
So, Jimmy, do you have a hybrid child out there?
I don't think so, sir.
Yes.
That's okay.
Really?
That was a question of
from
mine.
this woman. I should
Oh,
mention.
see that? He
Not
did
from
have
her,
babies.
as far as I know, not from
So
her,
Different.
but from other
This guy's
other
banged multiple
females,
alien
yes.
chicks.
Jessica,
apparently.
you want to
several.
throw a few comments or questions out?
Yeah. No,
Or-
Jessica does
okay.
look like she's gonna laugh.
Oh, there you go.
He just
I'm
asked
sorry.
her
Are
to
you
throw
talking
out
to
some
me? 'Cause
questions.
I just
Are you
got
talking to me?
technology
Because I
shut out.
zoned out of this nutter.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just yeah, no, I'm good. Sorry, my computer's lagging a little bit for some reason. So sorry.
Okay, what do you think about this thing about chocolate as a current? You mentioned currency, so they get
Just
paid.
minding the
Did you see
baby
their money?
Nessie. Yes.
And why would they need money if they have replicators?
Oh God, that's scary.
What do you think about that, Jimmy?
When they just replicate
I'm
the
sorry,
money.
can you rephrase the question? I'm a little lost.
You said Spock gets paid.
Rephrase
So
it?
what do they pay him in chocolate, or do they pay him? I mean,
This guy keeps stalling because he
So
can't answer.
what is
the
their money?
question.
I didn't say he got paid, James. All I said was that if you own the Star
Oh
Trek
my God.
and you
There's almost a whole nother hour of this. We got to check out of this. I can't keep going. This is just too stupid. It's just a waste. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how they sat there for 2 hours with this guy. I can't.
Yeah. It's just. Is there a picture of? Has the person, the guy making the claims, has he been?
I don't think so. No,
Oh.
but it's, admittedly, I did not dig too deep. I just heard some of the stuff in the very beginning of this, and I said, "Wackadoo of the week." Wackadoo of the week.
That's definitely, because that's where it's like I hadn't heard of this guy before, so I was like, "What?" It just with the thumbnail, I was like,
"Yeah." Everybody in the
"Who is
live
this?"
chat is like, "Let's move." I'm good. Let's move on. Yeah, not another hour. All right, we're gonna check out of this, and yeah. 1 second here. We got all right. That is plenty good. Look, we did our best. I can't listen any more of this wackadoo of the week. This guy might be the wackadoo of the year. 50 IQ Rezo Factor feeling about 50 IQ points lower. Thank you, Stephen. Yes,
but
questions.
We got some good laughing, and laughter is medicine.
Yes,
so watching it, you're actually doing something great.
I'm just a little worried though, because there's people like this out there in the world just walking around free. I think that dude needs a straitjacket, and I hate to make light of it. Because, one of the other things on a more serious note that we should actually acknowledge is that some of these woo grifters, I think they seriously do take advantage of people who have mental issues.
Yeah.
Especially James Rink, because there's always people talking about being tortured as children on his show and stuff. Like, how do we know that's not some sort of repressed childhood abuse? And then they turn that somehow into, oh, I'm special. I was a super soldier,
And it totally, I could see that being plausible. Unfortunately, it definitely depends on the circumstances, the environment, all that combination of things. I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, or it just could be. It just could be that the guy is completely and totally stable in the other areas of his life, and he just does this for attention or something.
I was going to say, it's like, what's the need? I mean, yeah, he has to have a need for it, or it's just that he has a mental illness that isn't treated, and that's what he believes. Either he's a liar, just straight up saying this, or it's real to him.
Yeah. Vancouver guy is saying that Martin Willis podcast UFO had cult leader Chris Bledsoe on today. Yeah, everybody's helping him sell that book where he forgets to mention that one of his cult members, I believe, killed his own father, then live streamed his father dying on Twitter, then sent a video of his father dying to a bunch of UFO celebrities, and nobody seems to care. And the whole time he was screaming and talking about the lady and that somebody took his picture. And for those that don't know, Bledsoe asks people to send DNA samples and a picture, and then he prays for them to the aliens.
He puts it in like a tree.
Yeah.
Or it's like a tree at the place. So it's like, yeah, it's something. It has to be there. And that's where it's like, it just, hearing, well, first I heard about the Bledsoes from a friend's Chad Smith podcast, because it's like, you know, I think that they heard it like from like Dave Scott, and then it's people.
Yeah, it could be just a lonely guy. Yeah,
and people hear it and then they boast him up, and I always just didn't believe him. This Bledsoe guy, and that's where it's like on my Facebook, it's like I'll see a friend and then post like the Bledsoe article that came out like last week, and it's like I just want to be like, honey, sweetie, like I want to be like, I need like to have a heart to heart, but it's like that's the Minnesota nice in me, where it's like
I agree.
Hey, my inner me wants to be like, you need to watch this. Blah blah blah.
I know. You know what? You know what I find myself doing a lot lately. I find myself starting to like type something out to some wackadoo, and then I say, I'm not even going to say anything, like live in a fantasy delusional world, I guess. But I'm also worried about the fact that people that listen to this James Rink guy, they believe this. Like people were asking like serious questions, like, you know, like this is all, oh yeah, this is real. This really happened. And the thing with the time problem, like, oh yeah, the Star Trek The Voyage Home really happened, and I was on that mission in 1997. Well, the movie came out in 1986. That's a bit of a problem. But hey, there's always an explanation. There's always an out. And that out was, it's time travel. So, you know.
Yeah, there's always an out. And it's so many, I mean, if you think about it, it's like there's how many movies that
Jesus, archaic revival. Please don't say that in the live chat. People are talking about butt banging in the live chat. Please don't do that in the live chat. We have enough problems here. I don't want to have to explain to somebody why people are talking about butt banging in the live chat, right?
Right, yeah. You don't know.
But lately I have been saying to a lot of UFO fluffers, you know, the guys that worship the UFO celebrities. Like that's one of my favorite things to do. When I come across like a post where somebody is just totally sucking up to a UFO celebrity, I say, why don't you just blow the guy already?
Oh yeah. And but that's where it's like I can't wrap my mind around people believing things, but yet I know that there are some things out like we were talking about, like unsolved mysteries. Like there was actually
Matthew's got a good point. You know, I'm getting a lot of critics and complaints lately. We try to cover a lot of different topics and subjects. So if this is not something that you care about, and I get that, some people are like, oh, we don't want to listen to a wackadoo, or even if it's funny. I think it's funny sometimes. You know, you can make suggestions in the comments to this video. Let us know what you do want to see. We'll try to bring it to you.
Or don't you have an email?
Yes, email is truthseekershow@gmail.com, and I'll put that up on the screen.
Yeah.
It's just truthseekershow@gmail.com. 1 second here.
Well, it's nice to mix some comedy.
Yeah. I think once in a while it's fun to just blow off steam and look at the go really deep into the woo end of the conspiracy land pool and see what is out there. And some of this stuff is just so wild that it's just gets really, really crazy. But that's my email, and people can send me suggestions for future topics, or send me suggestions for future guests. I have a feeling that somebody might be helping with that, right? We're gonna have Lizzie trying to book guests, because that is my least favorite thing to do. And you know what it really bothers me is when I go through the motions and I email 10 people, 2 respond, one says they're too busy, call me next month. The other one says, oh, I can do it next week. And then they cancel, and then they reschedule, and then they cancel, and then they, like, I just hate doing the scheduling. I can't.
Well, I used to do hair for a living. But before I was licensed, I did front desk. And so I'm used to scheduling and making appointments and all that stuff. So I like planning. I'm a planner, so I like all that good stuff. But yeah, that's where it's, if anyone has suggestions, like the email is down below.
Yeah, and we'll get you an email. So like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's suggestions, and then it's kind of, looking from there, taking a look at the person themselves, and seeing, but any little breadcrumbs can help. Because you never know what you're going to find.
I'm open to talk about anything interesting, ancient mysteries, spirituality, religion, cults, UFOs, aliens, cryptids, basically anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here is, I have a little
oh, you have your kitty
newborn,
cat.
Yeah, kitten.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, here we'll solo you a black cat. I once had. Oh, let me get this off the screen. I once had a black cat like that, named really unoriginally named Jinx.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I love that cat. He died some time ago. We haven't had a cat in forever because my son is allergic to cats. So,
was the cat short hair or long hair?
I don't know. It was like that. It was a regular old black cat, I guess. I don't know what the breed or whatever.
I guess he is what they call a ghost. What is it? Ghost tabby, because he's black, but you can see the tabby.
Oh
line.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's got some markings. Yeah.
Yeah, but his name, it's under. He's named after the Aztec god of the underworld, but I call him Mitchie. But he has a long name. I call him Little Mitchie, but I just wanted to
show him off. Yeah. And Heidi Mon says, how about a 1 hour call-in show? We did a 2 hour call-in show, which is different than a panel show, is that I took callers one at a time. We can do that again. Tomorrow night we have Ryder Lee from Raised by Giants YouTube channel, who just came out with a really good documentary on the JFK assassination. And that's something very different from what we usually do. And I've never, ever covered it. But since he's very knowledgeable and did a whole documentary, I thought we'll do that. And we'll be back doing that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cool. So please, everybody, be here with us. What can I say? Tonight was wackadoo of the week.
It was amusing.
I think it's funny and fun just to see how deep the conspiracy land pool goes. Like, the fact that people listen to this kind of stuff for hours and hours and hours is like weird to me. Like, really? You're gonna sit and listen to this guy for hours?
And that's, I can't understand it. But there's people like us that can't understand it, but then there's people like those people that just eat it up, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we did our due diligence for today. I thank you for doing it with me, Thin Lizzie Borden. So we will throw you out of here. We will wrap things up, and I appreciate you being here. And, you can just, you've done this before. You could just close down your tab once I throw you out. Okay. You have a great evening, and thanks for being here for the wackadoo of the week.
Yes.
Thanks, Lizzie. All right. Interesting night. And I mean what I said. There's, as ridiculous as this guy is, or was this evening, I don't think there's very much difference between him and anybody else that's making fantastical fairy tale claims without providing evidence of claims. Granted, some people that testified before Congress might have some impressive credentials, and I don't know what this guy's CV is like, but equally, they both are telling fantastic stories with absolutely no evidence. To me, it's no different. And people like Grush, to me, are no different than this guy until they put up evidence. People like, or no different than Corey Good or David Wilcock or Stan Romanek or, you know, any of these other people that have told fantastic stories but never quite come through with the evidence. Now we see that I think that a great deal of this Grush story is going to come crashing down because there appears to be an awful lot of back and forth and fighting going on with the United States government about what evidence he actually provided, who he provided it to. Remember, we were told he provided all this evidence. Now we find out that the guy testified in a secure location for 11 hours, and the congressional aides that attended the one session for 4 hours went back and told congressmen that he was not a credible witness. Could that be because his evidence was not credible? And there's a great deal of debate. And you know what else I really am tired of seeing? The Inspector General of the intelligence community found his allegations urgent and credible. Well, which allegations? The allegations of reprisals against him? Is that what was found urgent and credible, or the allegations of aliens and spaceships? So I finally got an email address for the Intelligence Community Inspector General, and I'm firing off emails, and I want an answer. Is the Inspector General of the intelligence community saying that his alien claims are urgent and credible? His claims of a back engineering secret program, are those claims urgent and credible? Which claims of his are urgent and credible? Because I think that the people selling this story are taking advantage of that confusion here. And we want clarification. And, you know, I've gotten to the point where I used to be kind of timid about reaching out to government representatives and demanding answers. But in this case, I'm doing it. We'll bring you an update when we get any answer that we get. Vancouver guy, exactly. There is no evidence they found his UFO claims credible. Well, there's a debate about this. Which of his claims were credible? His claims of reprisals? Some people are saying, no, it's his claims of unacknowledged special access projects that are beyond congressional oversight that are credible. I think that the Intelligence Community Inspector General owes everyone an explanation. If a bunch of UFO grifters who have made millions of dollars selling completely fake stories before about aliens are running around saying that our Intelligence Community Inspector General find his claims of aliens and back engineering programs and spaceships in the possession of the United States government urgent and credible, and these people selling this story are pushing that's true, we want an on-the-record confirmation from him that, yes, he's saying the alien claims are urgent and credible. I guarantee that's not what he's saying, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to find out. I think it's important to do that. So we will be back here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to also mention that this constant coverage of just UFOs is just getting to me. I really enjoy doing this show, however, so we are going to be covering other topics in conspiracy land, as this show was always intended to do. Go look back into our archive. We used to cover Bigfoot stories, black-eyed children and ghost stories, paranormal stuff, demonic possession, all manner of strangeness. And somewhere we just got pigeonholed into the UFO thing, and freely, I'm the person that picks the topics and the guests. It's probably my fault, but I'd like to correct that and sort of bridge the gap between what the show was intended to be. I never intended the show to just be UFOs and aliens. Just kind of went there. It's probably a major topic of interest of mine, but not my only topic of interest. So I've said this several times, but we want to correct that. And yeah, we'll take a hit in the numbers, just as we did tonight, because a lot of people come here for serious information, and they knew tonight was just kind of a goof off. And, you know, maybe not interested. I get it. I'm fine with that. But you can imagine that this constant, very serious coverage and passionate and aggressive coverage of this UFO and alien stuff, and as far as the Grush story, most of me is content to just sit on the sidelines and watch the story either take off or fall apart. Those are the only two possibilities of what's going to happen here. Either there is evidence, or we're going to find out that this guy's evidence came from people like Hal Puthoff, Eric Davis, Lou Elizondo, Gary Nolan, Kit Green, people like that. And a lot of more skeptically minded people think that's exactly what happened here. Well, time will tell. But it is important to note that this person has been telling these stories for 3 months now. Remember, on May 15th, he had a meeting with Canadian Member of Parliament, Mr. Maguire, in which he told the very same stories that he told News Nation and during the congressional hearing here. Alien bodies, crash retrieval programs, we have intact alien spacecraft or non-human spacecraft, or whatever you want to say. He's been telling these stories for 90 days now. And that's 3 months that he's been telling stories, and we don't have any evidence yet. And I just want to be clear in that Corey Goode made millions of dollars telling stories for 8 years and never provided a single shred of proof of any of his claims. And he did it for 8 years. I refuse to allow this Mr. Grush to make any money for any length of time approaching years without providing the evidence. What we need is some appropriate end to this guy's stories. Either they're true or they're false, and let's get to the gist of it. Let's get to the conclusion here. Let's not let this guy make a lot of money telling stories for years and years with no evidence. And by the way, I freely admit it's my opinion and speculation when I state this, but I believe that his handlers and the people all around him that are making tons of money, including News Nation, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, Ross Coulthart, Leslie Kane, Ralph Blumenthal, and whoever else is making money off of him, and to a lesser extent, all of the UFO circle jerk shows are making money off of him and his story right now. I think that this lack of evidence is intentional. They're going to try to drip just enough to keep you interested until the book deals, the documentary deals, the TV show deals, and all that come in. They don't want to give you the whole story right now. And that, more than anything, should inform you about how this story may end for all of us. We've got Ross Coulthart saying he knows exactly where alien spaceships are, but he can't tell us. We've got George Knapp. They know where element 115 is buried, but he can't show us that. People are making absolutely fantastical claims and then refusing to provide the evidence. All I'm asking for is evidence of claims before you make money. And isn't it interesting that one of the things you'll find in the so-called UFO community is that the people selling the stories, they seem to never provide the proof of the stories they're selling, but yet they will forget about that story they never prove and move on to another story that they hype out the wazoo, that sometimes they never prove that one, and then they move on to another story. It's like they think everybody forgets that they claim and hype the stories up, that there's going to be all this evidence coming. And, look how hyped up the Bob Lazar documentary and all that garbage was. What do we get? A hand scanner that was in Close Encounters, a movie that Jeremy Corbell once claimed was his favorite movie, but he claimed he'd never seen that. He found that hand scanner on the internet. Come on, right? They do the Cosmic Con shuffle. They overhype the story. They underdeliver on the evidence that they promise. And then comes the big letdown. And then they shuffle off. And then they come back a little bit of time later with a brand new story to overhype and underdeliver and bring us the big letdown with. All I'm saying on the Grush story is we've seen the overhype. They hyped, this whistleblower, these whistleblowers are coming and they're going to name names and program names and the location where the material is being stored. That's what they promised us for like a year, hyping this guy up. Many of them, Eric Davis, Nolan, Elizondo, a lot of these people talked about whistleblowers that were going to be coming forward, right? And so far, this guy's been telling these stories for 90 days almost now. On the 5th of this month, on the 15th of this month, it'll be 90 days. He's been telling these alien stories. Because remember, he started May 15th. I know June 5th, well, even if we use that date, we're going to be coming up on 60 days, 2 full months, no evidence. But he does have a documentary deal, according to sources and our reporting here. And by the way, you know how I know he did have a documentary deal? Because nobody corrected my reporting on that. And if that wasn't true, they would have jumped all over me. You got that story wrong, Stephen. He doesn't have a documentary deal. Yes, he does. I believe he does. And that may be why we get no evidence. They're saving it for the documentary, what little he has. And I have a feeling that what he has for so-called evidence is garbage from people like Hal Puthoff and Kit Green and Eric Davis and all these other people that have been, Eric Davis said that we had alien bodies we had non-human craft in our possession. What was it, 2 years ago or 3 years ago now? Did anybody prove that claim yet in 3 years? Are we going to be waiting 3 years for Grush to prove his claims? I say we don't let that happen. Let's not let this guy just milk everybody for every penny he can before we all find out that they overhyped and they're going to underdeliver, and then comes the big letdown. But the big letdown doesn't usually come until every dollar they can possibly make comes in, and then they run away and let the big letdown come crashing down. Like I said, I just want to see a quick end to this. I want to see a quick resolution. If he's telling the truth, great. If not, get out of here. And by the way, not just him should get out of here. Everybody that overhyped and underdelivered on his story, and history does not forget. I'm collecting screenshots of all the shit people are saying right now. Because if this story comes crashing down, none of these people, none of them should ever make another penny off of selling UFO garbage stories. And if I have anything to say about it, we'll have a hand in making sure that's the case. So we've done our due diligence. We want to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors, you super chatters, you Patreon supporters, PayPal pledgers, super sticker people, super thanks people, you Twitch subscribers, all of you kind and generous benefactors. We appreciate all of you. We want to thank our chat room moderators. We'll be making some announcements soon because I'm actually going to accept help. For those unaware, I'm kind of a one-man army here, and I don't like asking for or even accepting help when it's offered. I kind of feel like all of this is my problem, not yours, but thanks for asking. I'm going to let my guard down a little bit and see if we can really get this thing really popping better with a little more help, especially on things that I can't stand. There's just some things that are not enjoyable. Oh, and just an announcement. I'm happy to say that Twitter and the problem with the audio podcasts not being auto-published to Twitter is fixed. And also, likewise, our audio podcast is now up to date. There was an issue that I'm told or was told that had to do with the Twitter API. For those unaware of programming stuff, that's the software toolkit that allows third-party applications to interface directly to Twitter and publish to Twitter. Apparently, there was some kind of problem with that when Twitter made their change. It's since been fixed. It looks like the audio podcasts are auto-publishing. When I publish a new one, they're auto-publishing to my Twitter now. Please follow me there at Stephen Cambion. You'll see each one as they're published. You can also visit our website at truthseekershow.com. And we appreciate all of you listening to the audio podcast. For those unaware, we're very close to some very significant numbers with the audio podcast. So we'd appreciate your help if you get a chance and you're not busy. Listen to the audio podcasts. We're very close to some magic numbers that will help us praise the cash even better on the audio side. We're this close. I think we need like 1,000 more listens a month, and we have to average that, I think, for maybe 2 months. I don't know, but we're very close, and I'm encouraged that we might hit those numbers. If somebody would have told me we'd be getting the downloads that we're getting now, I would have never believed you. For those unaware, I started before this show an audio podcast, but I got like 500 downloads a month or something. It was terrible. I was like a voice in the wind that nobody could hear. Things are improving, and I'm glad to see that. We will also want to make sure we thank our chat room moderators, and we thank Spooky and Mr. Ian and all of you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, with a bit more serious show. It's on the Kennedy assassination and on this new documentary by our friend Ryder from Raised by Giants. He gave me a preview. I've watched it. I think it's a very well done documentary that lays out a great deal of the history and the evidence of all the conspiracies surrounding that, or most of them. I think he did a great job. We'll be previewing that film for you here. You get a free preview. It's available on Amazon. We'll give you more details tomorrow night about that. So I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and I hope that you will be here with us. I'm not sure if we'll be doing a fourth show this week. I'm waiting to get the schedule from the boss, my wife. I'm not sure if I'm heading to the cabin on Thursday night or on Friday. So depending on that, we'll figure it out. So I want to thank, and I also want to thank my guest tonight, Thin Lizzie Borden. I didn't want to go through this wackadoo by myself. It was fun to do it with a friend of the show. So thanks to her as well. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
What? I never took people's money for nothing. I mean, next you'll be comparing me to Dr. Stephen Greer.
Sometimes what we need is a soulful song that can bring us all together, heal our hearts. But in times like these, we might need a song like this. I still want to learn to play piano. I could be practicing every day. I keep saying I'd love to start running. I'd be in shape if I had my way. But there were always aliens to think about, Illuminati and the puppet state. Chemtrails poisoning the populace. No use trying, it's much too late. Big croc conspiracy, wacko shit. Deadlock, truth I never will admit. It's only an excuse to quit. Conspiracy, wacko shit. Spend my days hiding in the basement, isolated as I can get. I sink down deep into my wormhole, the dark side of the internet. I might have liked to drive across America, camping out in the old RV. I'm too scared of Q and on and on and on. They'll hack my brain with the new 5G. Big croc conspiracy, wacko shit. Deadlock, the truth I never will admit. Gives me an excuse to quit. Conspiracy, wacko shit. Fist clenched, strangling my iPad, apocalyptically entertained. I'm sweat drenched, paranoid, it's this bad, pure adrenaline in my veins. At least I finally see I have no choices. 'Cause everyone's controlled by the deep state. Long as we believe in unseen forces, we'll never even try to change our fate. Big croc conspiracy, wacko shit. Deadlock, the truth I never will admit. It's only an excuse to quit. Conspiracy, wacko shit. It's only an excuse to quit. Conspiracy, wacko shit. Yeah. I feel better. I hope you do.
Truthseekers is a viewer-supported show. Wonderful people like you who enjoy this show send pledges in the form of super chats, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, or Cash App. Instructions for how to help are in the description. You can also join our Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month you can get extra content. Patreon supporters get a backstage pass, early access to all our production videos before they are distributed publicly, Stephen Campion's music, private writings, a monthly show journal, and more. You can also become a YouTube channel member for $5 a month. A YouTube membership includes all of the Patreon benefits, plus a special members badge, priority reply to video comments, and the live chat, plus a monthly members-only video. We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors, for supporting Truthseekers. Thank you for your generosity and support. Truthseekers is a viewer-supported show. Now there's a great way to support these broadcasts and show your support. Please be sure and check out our merchandise store. Links to our 2 merchandise online stores are in the links to this video or podcast. The Amazon storefront ships super quickly in the United States, Great Britain, and many more places. Amazon may not ship to your country or location. If that's the case, hit our second merchandise link in the description and visit our Redbubble storefront. Merchandise from our Redbubble storefront ships worldwide, but may take longer than Amazon. We've got a great deal of super high quality merchandise for you to choose from, including t-shirts, phone cases, sweatshirts, and even pillows. The feedback from our products have been overwhelmingly great. Quality products and fast shipping. People all over the world are buying some merchandise and showing their support of the show. Praise the cash! Praise the cash! Praise the cash! We thank you all, kind and generous benefactors who are buying some merchandise and helping us to continue this journey. Thanks for being here. This is Truthseekers with your host, Stephen Campion. Please rate, like and comment on our videos or podcasts. If you are listening to an audio podcast, please rate us 5 stars to help us rise in the search rankings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to an audio podcast, we love and appreciate you listeners, but you are missing the live tapings. All our shows are recorded live with video feed. We'd love you to come be a part of our live broadcasts and tapings for the podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click the search tool, the little magnifying glass, put Truthseekers, one word in the search bar, and hit enter. You'll see a strange and mysterious guy with sunglasses. That means you found the channel. Go there, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to receive up-to-date info on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to be a part of our live taping and our chat room during the live broadcasts. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. This is Truthseekers. Truthseekers.
Now here's the deal. 1, the UFO phenomenon is not real. The UFO phenomenon is not real. Now here's the deal. 1, the UFO phenomenon is not real. 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 And it's not real. And it's not real. The UFO phenomenon is not real.
What if some of that shit is so big? What if some of that shit is so big it can't be moved? Big, big, it can't be moved. Big, big. What if some of that shit is so big? What if some of that shit is so big it can't be moved? Big, big, it can't be moved. Big, 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 big. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. In a country outside of the United States of America. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. In a country outside of the United States of America. Big. 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 They're too bloody 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 big. I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it is. But it was bollocks big, 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 big. But it was bollocks big, 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 big.
Tonight, I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair.
Thank you.
He also was read into and had the chief scientist show him the location, which...
This is another thing. There's these illustrations in this thing, and you see that thing in the background? I think those are porta potties. I'm not sure, but I think they're porta potties. And according to these illustrations, there's these secret underground bases that are big enough for like hundreds of people to work in. And apparently they're so secret that the government just lets everybody park their car right outside the secret base. And listen, if you got to take a dump, there's porta potties. There's porta potties outside the secret underground bases. So if you got to, listen, sometimes maybe you just got to, you driving to work, you got to take a big dump. And maybe they don't have bathrooms in the underground secret alien bases where they're working on the alien spacecraft. They have such technology that they can back engineer alien spacecraft, but they can't figure out how to put a bathroom in that bitch underground. Instead, they got porta potties all along the back row. And this base is ultra top secret. It is housing the most secret things on planet Earth. The greatest secrets of the United States shadow cabal, black budget government, the deep state. It's the most secret base of the deep state. But we're going to put a row of like all these porta potties out there, and we're just going to let everybody park their cars right outside where you go into the secret base. And listen, they would not do that. There's Russian satellites that would pick this up in a minute. In a minute! There's Chinese satellites that would pick this up in a minute. You don't put an underground base somewhere and then just let hundreds of people come to work and park right outside in a row and then put porta potties in case people have to take a shit. Oh my God, this is so stupid. What am I doing here?
We now have a underground military
this
base
is serious stuff.
that is in the Dugway sector, so-called Avery sector, Avery.
All right, and that's another thing. He said it's in the Dugway Proving Grounds, so we can look on satellite maps. And as ridiculous as it sounds, I went looking for big rows of cars and porta potties out by the Dugway Proving Grounds, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find shit. So is this fake? Well, this is another anonymous source. And if you look at the logic and the ridiculousness of this whole thing, I think you might agree that this is probably a tall tale. And by the way, there's more illustrations with the porta potties and the cars, I think.
Has huge capacity for parking. You go in, and there's a vast underground complex in that location. That location has been handed off to investigators.
And here's the thing. If there's huge capacity for parking, why is everybody parking their car on the surface then? This makes no sense. This is a total contradiction.
The U.S. government. Next. This gives an illustration of the size of this. You could put easily on the platform that goes down the Air Force One. It's a very large elevator goes down.
I told you. Okay, so this location has been handed off, according to Greer, with investigators with the U.S. government. Which investigators? Which department is investigating this? Can we have their names? Oh, of course not. But what we can get is, see, there's the entrance to the underground base. Looks like a little shed there next to the porta shitters. I'm sorry, I can't get over the porta potties. Why would you just have a parking lot outside a deep underground military base where everybody can park and shit? Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm sorry. There are underground bases, but they don't look like this on the surface. The point of an underground base is two things. Usually bunkers to prevent like a nuclear, anything nuclear from reaching them, or to provide secrecy to work on things, I would think. It kind of blows the secrecy thing out when you got, 25 porta potties and 100 or 150 cars out there. And this makes no sense. Why would people not put, you got enough space under there for the Air Force One and helicopters and a train, but you don't got enough space for people to park?
Nice.
And you don't got bathrooms? Why don't they got bathrooms in a deep underground base? You're like, listen, this is so stupid and so ridiculous, right? Like, imagine the scientists that work there. Like, listen, I would like to keep trying to back engineer this alien spacecraft, but I really got to take a shit, so I got to go up top. I got to go topside and use the porta potty. I got to go topside and take a shit before I can continue to back engineer this alien spacecraft. This is so stupid. And as stupid as this is, imagine the idiots that helped hype this, that helped this man take money from people for this level of stupidity, this level of illogical, childish, nonsensical stories that don't make sense.